Hey everybody, what's up? It is Darren Perky here, PPL Podcast, episode number 4. Pretty exciting. And today's, we're actually mixed up a little bit because I just saw a post over in SEO Signals Lab. So if you guys are on YouTube, you can see the link in the description. If you're on the podcast, it is facebook.com/groups/SEO Signals, plural, lab. So SEOSIGNALS lab. And you guys can see over there, Stephen King posted, you hear SEOs mention write good content to get rankings. That's great, but I rarely see them share specific strategies or the mechanics. Please name one of your favorite methods of creating great content. So, I kind of want to elaborate on this. So I had a course called Keyword Camp. Probably gonna open it up again real soon once I finish some more training in there. I think the wording is wrong. Good quality content, right? What that really means for me, and what I've seen that works really well, is what's called good relevant content. And relevant meaning relevant to the topic of your page. Your page needs to be topical now, right? So back in like 2011, 2012, before Penguin Pan and all that stuff, we should be able to write pretty much the same word on every single page and it would rank. It was really easy back then. Do stuff, get some links and call it a day. Chase Rainier, really good guy. I'll link his profile and his group as well on YouTube and on the Facebook page. He put, I agree with Google when they say good content requires one of the following: time, effort, or expertise. And so he basically, I think it was from Google's, I think it was from the Google guidelines, whatever. He posted some stuff there. So what I think the problem is, we as SEOs think of the search engine first, and we really need to start thinking about the content of the person who's writing the query, which is the search in Google, and using the search engine to modify that, right? So let me give a quick example. So I'm not going to tell you my full strategy. Obviously, this is a paid thing, but I will give you the philosophy of what it is, and you can see how to do it and how we do it inside of Keyword Camp if you guys want to join that. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that the idea of a topical page, the topical page needs to match the query. So let's go from the beginning to the end, right? So someone types into Google, okay, so let's do a quick example for like something like HVAC, because this is a common one I think people think about. So example query, again, which is a search inside of an engine. So we're going to use Google as an example because obviously it's what we do, right? So the search that someone's typing in is going to be AC is running, blowing hot air, no cold air coming out. Let's just say it's a super long tail keyword, right? So in order to rank for that, obviously having that sort of phrase or some variation of that phrase, we can talk about full SEO, which is URL, structure, H1 tags, all that stuff, whatever, right? But your content piece should not be about AC repair. Your content piece needs to answer the query or the search that someone's typing in, okay? And what does that mean? So if someone's talking about their air handler, which is really what this is, if you know anything about HVAC, which I don't know much about, but that's what usually air handler problem, right? It's the coil could be frozen over, which is making it not actually produce cold air, just that sort of thing. But what can happen here is on that page, you need to have content related to the query at hand, with thinking about user intent as well. Okay. So when someone's trying to solve a problem, like when someone types in air hand or AC blowing hot air, no cold air coming out, or AC is on but blowing hot air, no cold air, whatever the variation of that search query is, what they're really asking for is how to fix that problem, right? And that's we could talk for 23 minutes about user intent and what the different user intents are. But the idea is that person is looking for knowledge, looking to figure something out. So they're trying to know something. So when we write content for that particular query, a lot of us as SEOs will answer the problem we'll give them the solution without answering the question. So I'll repeat that. We'll give them the solution without answering the question. They obviously need a plumber or an HVAC person, I should say. I'm sorry, an HVAC person. They need someone to fix their AC system because it could be a coil, it could be whatever. So our post will be about, you know, your if your AC is blowing hot air, you need to call a professional today. Here's why we're amazing. Here's what we do. Call us today. We're amazing, right? That's what most marketers do that are not very good at what they do. Us in this PPL stuff, and obviously we're better than that. But I'm saying for the average person will write that kind of stuff, right? So what good quality content, and get rankings means is when you write about that article, give them solutions, talk about what it could be, give them different things, right? And someone might not be typing in that exact phrase, get variations of that phrase and the ideas behind that. So, give them something for a frozen coil, give them something for an air handler going bad, give them that something, whatever it is. I don't know all about HVAC, but give them those options of what it could be, and then offer a solution for them. If if this is one of your problems, you need to speak to a professional. We can do a service within 60 minutes. Call us today, whatever. It's fine. But when you're writing the content, it needs to be related to the topic and relevant, right? So I don't say good quality content anymore. I say good relevant content, right? It needs to match the search query. It needs to actually match it. And so the question becomes, why does that matter, right? Why does it matter that we have good quality content versus like, I want to rank for plumber, right? Because not everybody's typing in plumber. They're typing in their symptoms. And so the symptoms that this person is having is that they have hot air blowing from their AC system, right? If you have a web page about plumber and we're certified plumbers, we're amazing, been in business for forever, I'm a third generation plumber, or I'm saying plumber, but I should be saying HVAC. But you get the idea, home service professional, right? That's not answering any problem except for the person trying to go for plumber. But this query, right? You're answering this query. Now, if someone says water in my drain pan, right? That's a condensate drain line issue usually, right? It's something backed up in there. So the idea is that you have to answer that question as well. And so the idea that when you're creating content is that you want to answer the query, but the page and the content on that page needs to be specific to that query and that topic of whatever it is. So another example of this would be if you're actually writing for a plumber's web page, right? So we're switching over to plumber now. And you want to say plumber West Palm Beach, right? So what do plumbers do? If you're writing every single other word, plumber, plumbing, all that kind of stuff on that page, that's not super quality, right? Because that's not it's topical to that one particular keyword, but the topic of what a plumber does, like we can handle this, this is what we do. Having paragraphs about all the different things that you accomplish, that's good quality content. And so most of the web, and remember too, Google gives advice based on I would say the higher end sort of things. So like someone who's trying to rank for shorter tail keywords for the most part is where that advice comes from. So if you're writing an article, right? So a lot of my rankings come through blogging, not necessarily from landing pages that are like plumber West Palm Beach. I'll have that, how to fix a leaky faucet, toilet keeps running. On the HVAC side, the constant drain line issue, whatever it's like I said before with the air blowing hot air, or outside fan unit not turning on AC, that sort of thing. That's where the magic's at. That's where the money comes from, right? A lot of people want to rank for plumber or HVAC or AC repair, whatever city state. And even for me, I do personal injury. I don't rank for a lot of personal injury keywords the main keyword, personal injury, auto accident attorney, in areas. Most people say, oh, you don't rank for these big keywords. Like, yeah, I don't know, but I get 127 calls a month from these areas. I showed you guys before, if those of you who've been in some of my courses, I have a small local law firm making less than $5 million a year, getting 3,000 people a month to their site. So, because I'm going after these long tail keywords, I'm answering problems. I'm giving good quality content, good relevant content on those pages. I'm not writing, if someone asks a question, answer the question, but elaborate on it. Why is it so important? And that's where I think the whole expertise, time and effort comes into play. You have to be an expert in your field. It doesn't mean, had to have perfect text, perfect content, perfect whatever. Meaning you don't have to have perfect grammar. They don't have to make a whole lot of cohesive sense. I mean, it needs to be obviously relevant to the search. But a lot of people think like 4,000 words, like what does AC repair mean? Like I see it all the time. People try to write content like, How did AC repair start? What was the first AC unit? Who gives a shit about all that stuff, right? I mean, that can be good too, but you're not trying to rank for that. You're trying to rank for that's where it talks about. You're trying to rank for those questions that people are asking. And you're trying to solve those problems for them. But it's hard to write good quality content unless you're actually answering the question that someone's actually asking. And so you have to dig a little deeper. You have to actually go into it and know the industry enough. You have to be quote unquote an expert to write about it. Maybe, and I just wrote a post this evening about iguanas here in South Florida because they fall out of trees. Vultures pick them up and drop them out of the sky. It's crazy because right now it's like 50 degrees in South Florida, and so these warm-blooded animals cold-blooded animals are turning over on their bellies to take in more heat from the sun, and they're stiff, and so these vultures think that they're whatever. But I could write a whole article about that, about I don't need to write a content piece about the evolution of the iguana from whatever. I need to talk about the situation that the query is like, hey, is it true that iguanas freeze in South Florida? And then you see an article that I'll write. The article that I didn't write an actual article. I wrote a little post on Facebook. But if I was writing an article for that, it would be this very long-tailed article where I'm talking about, how the iguana population in South Florida, I'm relevant again, South Florida, happens, how they get in the trees, how vultures take them, how they fall like from the sky. Sometimes it's crazy, and then talk a little bit more about how the warm-bloodedness of these cold-bloodedness of these animals taken into consideration with the temperatures and what the temperature is that makes them stiff, and how long it needs to be at that level for them to be this way. And there's a lot of things you can add to make that more relevant, more credible, right? That's what real good quality content means. Like I say, quality relevant content, right? It's important to have that too. And so a lot of us as marketers, when we're writing for content, we want the solution to be there, which is just, you need a plumber, you need an HVAC person, you need this information. And you don't actually answer the question and give expertise and proof of that, right? And there's a lot of strategies behind doing that, right? So one of the ways is actually know the topic, which is where the expertise comes into play. There's other ways too, which is like finding keywords relevant to that and then adding those to your content pieces. So let's just say there's 5 keywords for the coil being frozen over, or a handler for the hot air thing, right? So find those like keywords that are relevant to that particular item. So if it's hot air blowing, what are the 5 causes of hot air blowing out of your AC unit? Find what those are and write a paragraph or two about each one of those ideas, and that makes your page relevant because anybody's searching for a variation of that keyword. So a good example of this would be, like I said before, if someone was typing in the keyword for AC repair, AC is on, blowing, but hot air, not cold air. Someone could also put hot air blowing from AC. Someone could put AC on, but no cold air. Those should all kind of be in your content somewhere, not necessarily in that particular order, that it's you talking about those different things. So if your AC unit is blowing hot air, it can be caused by a couple different things. The first thing that we usually check for is see if your coil is frozen. A couple ways to check that. Number 1, take out your filter and put your hand on the inside. If you don't feel cold air there, if you feel cold air there, it could be that the ice from the coil being frozen versus the handler. There's a lot of things that I don't know shit about AC, but you get the idea, right? So then you can write about that, and then another thing we check is this, check this, check this, and you're talking about these things, and naturally, people are going to be searching for that relevant content, and so that makes your page relevant because there's multiple ways to find your page. My rule of thumb is if there's 5 ways to search for this problem that I'm trying to solve with this piece of content, the reason I'm writing the content in the first place is to get someone to find me, right? Are those ways discussed that can make any of those searches relevant? So what I mean by that is, if you're typing in plumber West Palm Beach, okay, so that might be a little bit harder to do, but you need to make sure that your page is relevant for West Palm Beach plumber Palm Beach, plumbing company in Palm Beach, quality plumbing company in West Palm Beach, plumbing service, handyman service, whatever it needs to be, right? Maybe not handyman, but you get the idea. Is that you want different ways that someone could be searching for your particular topic, because remember, pages need to be topic now, less keyword based, more topic based. It could be a niche. So you don't want to have a page that has, like, for the most part, three different, completely different topics in the same industry, and then it's very hard to rank for that. But you could have a topic about, like, installation, different types of installation services, replacement services all on the same page. That's totally fine. But you need to find out how people are searching for that particular keyword topic and adding those variations to that topic to make it more relevant. I think a lot of people aren't doing that, and that's why I think a lot of people aren't ranking as easily. And so, you hear a lot talking about, oh, can we rank without links? The answer to your question is yes. Are they going to be super valuable keywords? Probably not, right? It's harder to rank without links anymore. Meaning for the higher end keywords, which is the short tail, what we call the head of the search. So if someone types in the word plumber, that could be anywhere in the country. Very difficult right now. Obviously, user intent and Google, the way it works with the way they kind of work their algorithm, they kind of know that you're looking for a plumber in your area, so they'll help you with that. But for the most part, you want to have content that kind of answers variations of that topic. Topical based content is what works right now. And do you need, is the perfect piece of content 3,000 words or 1,000 words or 500 words? I think it's based on the user intent and the query itself. But I think you want to answer the variations of that keyword or that topic to make it relevant. Because if you don't do that, I don't think your page deserves to rank more than that one or two keywords. That's why people have a problem with, like, oh, I can only rank for one keyword on my page. Like, I rank for multiple keywords. You can find my pages multiple ways, right? I just did a big marijuana thing for a law firm out in California that I don't work with. It's a referral for a client that we're doing to get leads to this other thing. Anyway, long story short, we wrote a big, huge 2,700 word article on legalized marijuana in California and what that will mean for SSD and all that stuff too. So if you go, eventually when you start looking for SSD and marijuana stuff, you'll see the law firm out there trying to rank for that kind of, or hopefully ranking for that stuff, and also on the same page. You want to have your page rank for multiple keywords, and the way you do that is to have relevant things to that topic on that page, right? Trying to rank for just installation, AC installation service, whatever city, state, isn't good enough anymore. You need to have installation, replacement, different versions, like 3-ton. You should be able to rank for 3-ton installation service. Should I replace my old 3-ton unit? Whatever it is, right? You want to have those things on that page to make it relevant. So good quality, relevant content, not quality content. I mean, quality content is perfect. But again, this is not about the grammar, the structure, all that bullshit. None of that stuff matters. I mean, it matters. Don't get me wrong. It does matter. But it's not what quality means. Quality means, like, it has to be good and relevant to the search query, good and relevant to the actual question that the person is trying to solve with their query and their search. And then when they go to your page, does it fully solve that problem? That's where the whole time, expertise, and effort comes into play. That's what I think that means. I hope this helps, guys, and I'll kind of wrap it up there. But I want to kind of give you my thoughts on what good quality content means. And again, I like to call it good, relevant content to get that going. So I will see you guys in the next episode of the PPL Podcast. Later.